Welcome to WAPSE. Welcome to Biology. In this section, our first question. Which of the following is correctly matched? And the options are spores, sponges, Conidia hydra, gemmules, amoeba, bulbils, then agave. Here, there is some organism and their asexual mode of reproduction. It is seen in the first chapter, Living World, and also the sexual reproduction, asexual reproduction of second year, first chapter of second year, reproduction in organism. So there are some asexual reproduction methods such as spore formation, conidia formation, gemmules, bulbils. In addition to that, some reproduction method, that is sucker, offset, vegetative reproduction methods, is studied in morphology of flowering plants. Then binary fission or cell division, etc. Binary fission, we know that binary fission is the common reproduction method of bacteria, then yeast, etc. Then budding, that is a common reproduction method of yeast and hydra. Regeneration, planaria, like organism, their reproduction method is regeneration. Fragmentation, many filamentous organisms, filamentous algae, then Protonema of Moses, etc. Their reproduction method is fragmentation. Then spore formation is the most common reproduction method of a group, that is fungus. Fungus, the main reproduction method is spore formation. Conidia formation, in the subgroup of kingdom fungi, they are classified into four groups: Phycomycete, Ascomycete, Basidiomycete, Deuteromycete. Among these, Ascomycete and Deuteromycete, they are the group of fungus. This shows the reproduction method as conidia formation. Gemmules, the sponges, the reproduction method is gemmule formation. Bulbils, it is the reproduction method of plant like agave. Agave-like plant or agave-like plants, they shows there is a reproduction, a sexual mode of reproduction by means of bulbil formation. Our question is, which of the following is correctly matched? Spores, sponge, it is wrong. Conidia hydra, it's wrong. Gemmules, amoeba. Amoeba, their main reproduction method is binary fission, amoeba. So it is wrong. Bulbil and agave. So the answer is option 4. Bulbil, that is the main mode of reproduction method of plant like agave. Answer is 4. Okay, then moving to the next question. Cuscuta. Cuscuta is an example of. Cuscuta is a plant or a parasitic plants. They are commonly seen in our native places or our area. Cuscuta is a plant that shows parasitic mode of living. Parasites. Who are parasites? The parasites is a one living organism. They are a living organism. They are depends on others for their food, shelter, nutrition, etc. So one depends on others for their activity, for their need. They are known as parasites. Parasitism are of different types. Here there is a brood parasitism. It's a familiar example. What is the familiar example of brood parasitism? Cuckoo bird and a crow. Cuckoo bird, they laying egg on the nest of crow, and that mode of parasitism is known as brood parasitism. Brood parasitism, the most common example is cuckoo bird and crow. Then entoparasitism. Entoparasites. Did you heard about worm fungi? Worm fungi. Or some of the worms, they are living inside of human beings or within our body. Then worm fungi, worm which means vesicular arbuscular mycorrhiza. The most common vesicular arbuscular mycorrhiza, they are entoparasite, which means they develop, they grow, they reproduce within the inside of a living organism and another living organism, that is entoparasite. But Cuscuta not belong to this group. The next one is ectoparasitism. Cuscuta is a thread-like plant. There is no leaves. There is no thick stem. There is a slender twine-like, slightly yellow or yellowish green color, twine-like structure, their body. And this body exhibit or they absorb nutrients or they absorb their requirements from the body of the other living organism. Hence, they are known as ectoparasitism. Some of the vesicular arbuscular mycorrhiza, they show ectoparasite. They develop external. So, Cuscuta is a good example of ectoparasitism. But there is another option that is known as predation. Predation generally exhibited by the living organism, they are capable of moving, which means they are animals. Generally, predatory organisms, they are animals. But some of the predatory plants, we know, the plants, they are growing in nitrogen deficient soil, they capture some insect, Venus flytrap like plants. They trap the insect and observe their nutrients, obtain their nutrients from this insect. So that is a type of predation. Then higher predatory organisms such as tiger, lion, etc. Their mode of predation, their mode of nutrition, that is a predatory mode of nutrition. So Cuscuta obviously is a plant that shows a parasitic mode of nutrition. They shows ectoparasitism. So the answer is 4. Option 4. Answer is 4. Okay. Then moving to the next question. Which of the following plant is used to extract colchicine? In morphology of flowering plants, we study some family like Fabaceae, Solanaceae, and Liliaceae. Colchicine is a chemical which is used to arrest the spindle formation. The chemical which arrests the spindle or mitotic division, that is colchicine. Then this group, Fabaceae, Solanaceae and Liliaceae, etc. These groups contain different plants. They are economically different, economically important plants. Some of the organisms, some of the plant, they act as spices like chilies, etc. They belongs to the family Solanaceae. Then Fabaceae, like a group, pulses family. Many of the plants, they are used as pulses. Then oil yielding plants like a groundnut. Then extremely protein rich soya bean, they are coming under the family Fabaceae. Nicotiana tabacum, which is coming under the Solanacean group. Liliaceae, ornamental plants such as tulip, etc. They are Liliaceae. Asparagus, then aloe vera, etc. They are coming under all the plants. They are given here, they are coming under Liliaceae family. So a monocot family which produce colchicine, that is Liliaceae, but a monocot plant which produce colchicine, the term colchium, colchicine, colchium autumnale, 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 colchium autumnale. From these plants we can produce, we can extract colchicine. It is a mitotic spindle arrestor, so that we can create polyploidy. What is polyploidy? What is haploid? What is diploid? Then aneuploid, euploid, then polyploidy. Polyploidy. Generally, our chromosome number is 23 pairs. Then a chromosome greater than 23 pairs, that condition, that is polyploid. Exact chromosome greater than the exact chromosome number, organism with the greater the chromosome number, exact chromosome number is known as polyploid. That condition is polyploidy. Then this colchicine, which is used to create a polyploidy condition. Then here, which act as mitotic spindle arrestor. So here the answer is, which of the following plant is used to extract colchicine is colchium. Tulip is an ornamental plant. Aloe, that is an economically important plant. Aloe vera. Then asparagus, that is also used as vegetables and also medicinal plant. Aloe and asparagus, they are medicinal plant. In the Solanacean family and the Fabacean family, which contain also many medicinal plants. Vidania somnifera, like medicinal plants, they are coming under Solanacean family. So the answer is colchium, option 2. Okay. Then coming to the next question. Bovine spongiform encephalopathy, that is caused by. This bovine spongiform encephalopathy, it's also known as mad cow disease. In the second chapter of +1, biological classification. Biological classification. In this chapter, describe many groups such as kingdom Monera, kingdom Protista, then kingdom Fungi. According to R.H. Whittaker, 5 kingdom classification. And many of, or some of the organisms, they are not coming under any group of R.H. Whittaker 5 kingdom classification. They are virus, viroid, prions, and also lichen. Virus, viroid, prions, and lichen. Among these, lichen is structurally a living organism or almost a macroscopic organism. Virus, viroid, and prions, they are ultra microscopic organism. Then here, virus. The term virus, which is coined by Louis Pasteur, which means venom or poisonal fluid. Venom or poisonal fluid. Louis Pasteur coined the term virus, which means venom or poisonal fluid. Then the discovery of virus related to many other scientists. The most important one is Louis Pasteur, then W.M. Stanley, then M.W. Beijerinck, etc. Then virus, structurally virus having an outer, what is the structure of virus? It's an outer protein coat that is known as capsid, and it is made up of many subunits known as capsomere. Their outer protein coat, which is known as capsid, and that is made up of the subunit which is known as capsomere. Then within the capsid there is a genetic material. So virus is an organism or is a structure with a genetic material. It is either DNA or RNA. Either DNA or RNA. If a virus with DNA, which is known as deoxyvirus, if a virus with RNA is known as ribovirus. So there may be double stranded DNA or single stranded DNA or single stranded RNA virus. Generally, plant viruses are single stranded RNA viruses, then double stranded viruses such as bacteriophage, etc. Then animal viruses, they are double stranded virus. So deoxyvirus, then ribovirus. There are two type of virus or viruses. They are categorized according to the presence of their genetic material. It's either DNA or RNA. No, both DNA and RNA, that is never seen within a single virus. It's either DNA or RNA virus. That is the characteristic or genetic characteristics of virus. So the structurally there is a capsid, and within the capsid there is a DNA or RNA. Then this virus cause some diseases. Viruses, they cause disease. Then the most important example is dengue fever. Virus, they cause dengue. Then the virus, they cause yellow fever. Then viruses which cause SARS. Then virus which cause polio. These all are animal viruses. Then AIDS virus, mumps virus, measles virus, Ebola virus, chickenpox virus or coronavirus, then herpes virus, influenza virus, then culling of leaves is due to viral infection, yellowing of vein, that is due to viral infection. So there are many diseases or many symptoms that is due to the infection of virus. So viruses, they cause many diseases or many symptoms in living organisms such as plants and animals. So viruses they have an outer protein coat and there is an inner, there is an either DNA or RNA. Then they affect fungus, they affect human beings like animals, they affect plants, they affect bacteria. So viruses generally they cause disease in many of the living organisms, and the most important character of viruses is they are intracellular obligate parasite. Viruses are intracellular obligate parasite. They are intracellular, within the cell. They are living only within a living cell. Then their parasitism is obligate parasitism, not facultative parasitism. It is obligate parasitism. So viruses are intracellular obligate parasitism because they are living only within a living cell. They are living only within a living cell. Then it is not controlled by antibiotics. It is not controlled by antibiotics. It is because they have its own metabolism. Virus enter into a living organism and take the metabolism of the host organism. So there is no their own metabolism, so it is not controlled by antibiotic. But if a bacteria which affect a living organism, it is controlled by an antibiotics. So it is not controlled by any antibiotic. It is because of there is no metabolism or metabolic pathway. So if the virus, this one is the outer protein coat, then within the protein coat there is a genetic material. This one is structurally a virus. Then what are viroid? Viroid, which means virus-like, and it is not virus, but it is a virus-like organism or structure. Then what are the difference between virus and viroid? Viroid having a genetic material that is an RNA, a single-stranded RNA which is infectious, then it is known as viroid. So they are smaller than virus. They lack a protein coat and they have only a genetic material. That genetic material is not DNA, it is RNA. So an RNA which infectious to living organism is known as viroid. They cause potato spindle tuber. They cause potato spindle tuber. Potato spindle tuber caused by this viroid. The next one is prions. Prions. What are the difference between these three groups? Virus, viroid and prion. Prions is highly folded infectious protein. That means there is no genetic material. There is no genetic material, but the outer protein that is infectious. If the outer protein is infectious, then it is known as prions. So here the virus and prions, they are structurally almost similar. They are similar to the virus, and viroid is less than the prions and or smaller than the prions and virus. These prions discovered by C.R. Jacobs. He observed first these prions and he discovered the mad cow disease or bovine spongiform encephalopathy. Mad cow disease or C.R. Jacob disease or bovine spongiform encephalopathy. It is due to the infection of prions. Then another group of organism that is known as lichen. Lichen is the symbiotic association between algae and fungi. Here the main component is fungus, and fungus symbiotically associated with algae. Here the algal component is known as phycobiont and the fungal component is known as mycobiont. So phycobiont and mycobiont. Here phycobiont and algae and fungi has its own function. Mycobiont which give the shelter and also which helps in the absorption of minerals and nutrients. Phycobiont or algae which prepare food. So algae prepare food while fungus which provide shelter. So phycobiont and mycobiont, they are symbiotically associated with associated to an organism that is known as lichen. So lichens, they are symbiotically associated. Generally, this mycobiont component is ascomycete or basidiomycete. If the component of mycobiont is ascomycete, that lichen is known as ascolichen. If the fungal component is basidiomycete, then the lichen is known as basidiolichen. The most common examples of lichens are Asnia, Parmelia, Asnia, then Parmelia, etc. organism. They are lichens. So these organisms are not included in the five kingdom classification by R.H. Whittaker. That means these organisms are not included any kingdom, 5 kingdoms proposed by R.H. Whittaker: Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae and Animalia. So our question is bovine spongiform encephalopathy which is caused by the infection of prions. Prions are infectious, highly folded protein that lack genetic material. Answer is 3. Okay, clear? So moving to next question. Phycoerythrin and Floridian starch which is found in a portion of first year chapter, that is plant kingdom. Phycoerythrin and Floridian starch which is found in the plant kingdom. We can study the kingdom Plantae and they are again classified into algae, bryophyte, pteridophyte, gymnosperm and angiosperm. Then this algae is the smallest or primitive group of plants or organism among the plant kingdom. These algae, they are again classified into 3 groups: green algae or Chlorophyceae, brown algae or Phaeophyceae, red algae or Rhodophyceae. Chlorophyceae, Phaeophyceae and Rhodophyceae, these classification directly based on the color or the substance which give color, that is pigment. Based on the pigmentation, flagellation and the type of reserve food material, they are categorized into 3 groups: Chlorophyceae, Phaeophyceae and Rhodophyceae. So the pigment for Chlorophyceae, that is green algae, by chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B. Chlorophyll A, then chlorophyll B, that is the major pigment of green algae. Then carotenoid substance. Then Phaeophyceae or brown algae, chlorophyll A, then chlorophyll C and carotenoid molecules. Then Rhodophyceae or red algae, chlorophyll A, chlorophyll D, then phycoerythrin. Phycoerythrin which gives a red color. Phycocyanin, phycobilin, it's a type of phycobilin. Phycocyanin is a type of phycobilin which gives blue color. So phycoerythrin which gives red color because of the presence of phycoerythrin, the rhodophycean members they are appear in a red color. It is only based on the pigmentation. And these groups are differ in their another criteria than flagellation. Chlorophyceae they having apical flagella and the number of flagella is 2 to 8, generally 2, then maximum 8 flagella. So apical flagella, that means flagella present on the tip of the cells. Then Phaeophyceae or brown algae, they have a lateral flagella. There is lateral flagella, that means there is no flagella at the tip. Here the flagella is at the lateral side of the cell. And the Rhodophyceae is the group which absent flagella. Flagella is absent. Flagellum is absent in the case of red algae. In their vegetative cells, in their sex cells, in their spores, there is no flagellum. So flagellum is absent in the case of red algae, Rhodophycean member. And the reserve food material of green algae. The reserve food material of green algae is starch. Starch is the reserve food material of green algae, but in the case of brown algae, the reserve food material is laminarin and mannitol. Laminarin and mannitols are the reserve food material of brown algae. Then the reserve food material of red algae is Floridian starch. It's a type of starch. That is Floridian starch. Floridian starch is the reserve food material of red algae. Laminarin and mannitol is the reserve food material of brown algae. Then Chlorophyceae, the reserve food material is starch. Then many of the Chlorophycean members, there is a structure which is known as pyrenoid. There is a central starch and oil droplets are also the reserve food material. So the pyrenoid is a central starch and peripheral protein. That structure that is seen in members of the Chlorophycean. One of the example of Chlorophycean member is Volvox, Eulothrix, etc. Brown algae like Ectocarpus. Ectocarpus is the smallest or the primitive brown algae members. They are branched filamentous structure. Then the highest groups such as kelps, laminaria, etc. Sargassum is another example of brown algae. Red algae such as Gelidium, Gracilaria, Polysiphonia, etc. They are red examples of red algae. Our question is phycoerythrin and Floridian starch which is found in phycoerythrin and Floridian starch which is found in red algae and not in brown algae and green algae. Blue-green algae is not an algae or it is not a plant. Blue-green algae is a prokaryotic organism. That means a bacterial group. So the answer is red algae, option 1. Okay, clear? Then moving to the next question. Cell theory was formulated by. Cell theory. According to cell theory, it was proposed by the two scientists Theodor Schwann and Matthias Schleden. Theodor Schwann and Matthias Schleden proposed a theory that is known as cell theory. What are the tenets or principles of cell theory? Cell theory, they says that all the living organism are composed of cells or it's a product. All the living organisms, they are made up of cells and its product. So that is the main criteria, all the living organisms. So next one is cells are the fundamental or functional unit of living organism. Cells are the fundamental or functional unit of living organism. Cells are the fundamental unit of living organism. These are two statements or two principles. That is the main criteria or main principles of cell theory. But when they proposed, Schleiden and Schön proposed cell theory, there are two principles. But a scientist, Rudolf Virchow, proposed or modified cell theory. Rudolf Virchow proposed modified cell theory or modern cell theory. What is the modern cell theory? It includes the previous concept. All living organisms are made up of cells, one or many cells, unicellular organism and multicellular organism. In any organism, cells are the fundamental or functional or structural unit of living organism. But Rudolf Virchow add on another principle. That is omnicellular, e-cellular. Omnicellular, e-cellular. Omnicellular, e-cellular, which means cells are arised from a pre-existing one. Every cells are arised from a pre-existing one. That means new cells are formed by the process of cell division. Cell division takes place in cells which is known as mother cell, and the product they are known as daughter cells. So cells are arised from a pre-existing one. That is the most important concept who proposed. It was proposed by a scientist, Rudolf Virchow. All the organism, or 99% of the living organism, they follow the cell theory except some of the organism. The most important example is the living organism except or exceptional to cell theory, they are virus. You know virus, why it is exceptional to cell theory? Because virus is not considered as a living organism or not considered as a non-living thing. Virus is not a living organism, or virus is living organism is considered as living organism only within a living cell. So virus is not a living organism or not a non-living organism. It is living only within a living cell. And virus is an acellular structure. What is meant by acellular structure? Acellular, the term acellular, which means there is no cellular organization. According to cell theory, all the living organism has a basic cellular organization. If they are unicellular organism, they have only cellular organization. But if they are complex organisms like human beings or animals or plants, the level of organizations are cells, then tissues, then tissue system, then organ system, then organism, etc. So there are various level of organizations are seen in different group, but virus is an acellular group. So they are exceptional to cell theory. Our cell organelles such as mitochondria and chloroplast, these are exceptional to cell theory because mitochondria and chloroplast, these are exceptional to cell theory. It is because they are actually similar to prokaryotic cell. Actually, structurally they are similar to a prokaryotic cell, but they are lived as a cell organelle. Actually, they are similar to a single cell, but they are labeled as cell organelles, like endoplasmic reticulum, then nucleus, etc. That means mitochondria and chloroplast has the ability to division, binary fission or replication. It has its own DNA. It is a double-stranded circular DNA, and these using this DNA, they have to replication. They have the ability to replicate. So actually, they are similar to bacteria-like organism, but they are labeled as a cell organelle. So mitochondria and chloroplast, these are exceptional to cell theory. Then rhizopus, like fungus, these are exceptional to cell theory because they are unicellular structure but highly differentiated plant body, fungal body. So many organisms, they are exceptional to cell theory, but the main condition or main thing is the cell theory that is followed by all of the organism except some of the organisms such as virus, mitochondria or structure, then bacteria, etc. And it was proposed by Theodor Schonn and Matthias Schleden. One is German botanist and one is British zoologist who proposed this theory or these principles and coordinated to form a theory. It is the world widely accepted theory. So 99% of organisms, they follow this cell theory. Robert Hooke and Robert Brown. Robert Brown discovered a nucleus. Robert Hooke discovered first cells or first cell that is a dead cells. Anton van Leeuwenhoek discovered first living cells. These scientists, Theodor Schonn, Robert Brown, Schleden, then Robert Hooke, etc. These are the first or primitive scientists who developed this branch, cytology branch. So the answer is 2, Schleden and Theodor Schonn. Matthias Schleden, M.J. Schleden and Theodor Schonn. Answer is 2.